All right, we are ditching the usual rapid reactions tonight for a special game of Contenders versus Pretenders. We'll go through the top five NBA teams in each conference as we await the start of the second half. And we'll start with the Miami Heat, 38 and 21, tied for first in the Eastern Conference. Drink, are they a contender or a pretender?
I'm gonna go with contender. As long as you got Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, you still got Eric Spoelstra, still running the thing. I'm gonna go with contender. On to the team that's tied with the Miami Heat for the lead. In the Eastern Conference, the Chicago Bulls. What you got, Jay?
I'm gonna say pretender. And by the way, I should have said this to start, but I'm looking at you as a contender if I think you have a serious chance of winning the title. And as much as
Okay.
the Bulls look like a general contender, I just think not yet. When you look at guys like, and you brought this up on a previous occasion, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine, none of them have had playoff success. So it's hard for me to imagine that you bring them all together. And I'm still a little, glitchy on that bench that they have. I don't think there's a lot there. So I think when you run up against some of these other real contenders, they're going to have a problem come postseason time. So I'm saying pretender on that one. The Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid and the newly acquired James Harden, contender or pretender?
Contender. I think even like the way they're currently constructed without James Harden, I think they can make some noise with James Harden. They definitely should be an NBA Finals team. So I'm gonna go with contender for that. The team fourth in the Eastern Conference right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, pretender or contender.
They are a pretender once again, like Chicago Bulls. It's just a little too soon. This team is completely. I think they've been even more surprising than the Bulls because we've been waiting on Cleveland to do something, without LeBron for really their whole franchise history. But especially
Right.
in this century, we just haven't quite seen it yet. What they're doing, going against the grain with the two big guys, Mobley and Allen, I love it. But right now, it's just hard. Again, I think it's the same thing with the Bulls. It's hard to see them having success against some of these more seasoned teams like the Heat and the 76ers. And with that, and another team, which is the next one on our list, the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday, the list goes on. Contender, pretender.
I think right now they give you a little pretender feel, but once everybody comes back healthy, they'll be contenders. Listen, defending champs, nothing else needs to be said. I think they're contenders at the end of the day. Now moving on to the Western Conference, we got the NBA leading um, Phoenix Suns, pretender or contender.
And 48 and 10. One thing we haven't touched on was the Chris Paul injury, and that it kind of tempts me into, giving the pretending treatment, but they still 48 and 10. They still defending Western Conference champions. And with that in mind, Chris Paul, he's going to be out. He could be out the rest of the regular season, but they should get him back, middle of the first round or whatever at the very least. And with that in mind, I think they'll still have a great chance. They're a contender, no doubt. And the second place team, maybe a chance to get it back at that 1 and C due to the Chris Paul injury, the Golden State Warriors, Steph, Clay, and everyone. Well, they're still waiting on Draymond, but for the most part, they got everybody clicking. Contender, pretender.
Like you just said, contender, no doubt. Because when Draymond Green come back, they're gonna even be better than they are now, especially on the defense side of the ball. So definitely clear cut contender. With that said, we got a newcomer here, just like we had in the Eastern Conference with the Bulls and the Cavaliers. Now we got the rising Memphis Grizzlies. Pretender, contender.
Oh man, I want to say contender, but I think it's just like the Bulls and Cav. They come out of nowhere. They've made a significant jump from the past couple of years. They've been kind of a play in, eight seed type team. They have taken tremendous strides, but they haven't really seen playoff success just yet. And again, I think once you run up against teams like Golden State, Phoenix, I think they can probably win a playoff series, but they run up against those two teams and I don't think that's legitimate enough. I'm going pretender here. The Utah Jazz, I think that was last year's number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They're in the fourth slot so far. Still a familiar bunch, even though they let Ingles go. But you still got Mitchell, you still got Gobert, and the rest of them. Contender or pretender?
This is a de facto pretender. Not even close to a contender. If they wouldn't even contender when they got along. Now they don't even get along. So this is probably if I had to say you gave me a layup, this is a layup, baby. This is a pretender team right here. Moving on, last but not least, we got Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. What say
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I think you said it just in how you set it up. Luka Doncic and fill in the blank, because it's not Porzingis no more. They don't have. I'm sorry, they thought Porzingis would be the number 2. He's not the number 2 because he's gone now, and they just who is going to be the second dude, much less the third dude. We always talk about who's the third dude behind Porzingis and Luka. Now who's the number 2 option? So I just can't. I'm thinking Tim Hardaway right now, but there's no way I can sign off on a team being a contender as Tim Hardaway as their 2. As much as I like Tim Hardaway, Luka's not going to be able to do it all. Even though I think it says something that they are in the 5th slot, but yeah, they're a pretender at this particular moment in time. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and that concludes tonight's episode of A Drink of Wisdom. As always, like, listen, share, subscribe, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jay Wise.
And I'm Nathan Drinker, and remember, make tomorrow better than today, and make today better than yesterday, and you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, this is A Drink of Wisdom.